Our Scotland correspondent Kevin Keane reports.
It is a city rich in Scottish history, where kings and queens were crowned and where William Wallace defeated the English. And the SNP wrote another chapter here in Stirling back in May, coming from third to win this seat on the night of Labour's bloody defeat.
It gives me great pleasure to announce that Kezia Dugdale has been elected as the leader of the Scottish Labour Party.
A victory today, but new leader Kezia Dugdale knows the war is not over.
You know, there were many reasons for our defeat in May. And if we're true to ourselves, it was a long time coming. I think there are two reasons that led so many people to lose faith in us. Firstly, a large part of the population have simply switched off from us. And secondly, those who are willing to give us a hearing tell us they don't know what we stand for anymore. Well, I can tell you that under my leadership, there will be no question over what we stand for and who we stand with.
So in the end, it was a fairly easy victory for Kezia Dugdale with nearly 3/4 of the vote. But the next election won't be quite so easy for her. She has just 9 short months to turn this party around in time for the Holyrood elections in May.
Stirling had been a Labour stronghold from 1997 until this year. It's one the party, with its new leader, would hope to win back. But is she the right person?
You're joking. Kezia Dugdale.
Kezia Dugdale's the new Scottish leader.
My word, that's good for the SNP. Absolutely hilarious.
I wish her all the best with the job. It's going to be a tough challenge and hopefully she'll do well.
I think Labour needs a total overhaul to save Scottish Labour. There's a lot of things promised and not promised that have not come to fruition.
Fighting to win in 9 months might be an ambitious aim, and the new leader wouldn't make such a prediction. Survival could now be seen as victory. Kevin Keane, BBC News, Stirling.
Well, I'm joined from Glasgow now by Tom Harris, a former Labour MP for Glasgow South, who stood for the leadership of Scottish Labour in 2011. Mr. Harris, good evening to you. Well, what's your verdict on Kezia?
I'm delighted she's won. I think she is going to be a bit of a breath of fresh air. I mean, let's remember, of course, she's been standing in for the leader of the Scottish Party at First Minister's Questions every week since last year. And she's been doing a very good job. I think she is, whoever took over was never going to have an easy task ahead of them. But if I could choose one person to be that person leading us into the Scottish Parliament elections, it would be Kezia.
What are her strengths then?
Well, she's young. She isn't tainted by a lot of the Labour Party history before the last Scottish Parliament election. She's only been an MSP for 4 years, and I think that's one of her strengths. She's very straightforward. She has that quality in politics which is absolutely essential. Authenticity. What you see is what you get. And I think nowadays in politics, that is something that is valued more than almost any other quality.
But if she's going to succeed, she's got to do rather better than a woman who's had most terrific success lately, terrific charisma, you have to say, Nicola Sturgeon of the Scottish National Party. Is this young lady up for the job of fighting her?
She's certainly up for it. But as I say, it's not an easy task. And of course, she is facing every week in the Scottish Parliament one of the most successful politicians of her generation, someone who's very, very popular, very successful. I wouldn't want that job now. I think it is an incredibly difficult job. They say that the Leader of the Opposition at Westminster is the most difficult job in politics. I don't agree. I think the Leader of the Opposition at Holyrood is actually the most difficult job in politics. But look at the enthusiasm Kezia is bringing to it. I mean, for whatever reason, she seems to want the job. Well, good luck to her. She's going to need it, though.
Indeed. I think it'd be right to say, is it 6 leaders in 8 years?
I've lost count, but yeah, it's probably right.
It's an awful lot of them. Do you think this young lady is going to be there for a good time to come?
She has to be. I mean, one of the problems we've had in the Scottish Labour Party is we have had no continuity. Certainly since 2011, we need someone who's going to be there for the long haul. And, there's no way, just like Jim Murphy cannot be blamed for the disaster in May because he'd only been in the job a few weeks. Similarly, if we do badly next May and all the polls are showing that we will, then it's certainly not going to be Kezia's responsibility, but we need her to stay on. There's a lot of rebuilding of the party structurally, organisationally, and in terms of the media. We need someone like her who's going to stay on for the long haul. I think with a bit of wind behind it, with a bit of luck, with a lot of luck, she will actually be successful. And we need a good opposition in Scotland.
And if Jeremy Corbyn does become leader of the Labour Party outside of Scotland, do you think that's going to be a help or a hindrance to her?
I'll be honest, I can't think of any circumstances in which Jeremy Corbyn becoming leader of the Labour Party at UK level will be a help to anyone other than the Conservatives. I think there are some people in Scotland who are telling reporters in Vox Pops that if Corbyn becomes leader of the UK party, they'll switch back from the SNP to the Labour Party. They won't. And I'll tell you the reason why they won't. Because they will find an excuse not to vote for the Scottish Labour Party if the UK party does not look like it's going to form any kind of government at Westminster. That would be the case with Jeremy as leader. Nice man though he undoubtedly is, he cannot ever win an election at UK level, and that makes it very, very difficult to justify anyone from the SNP moving back to us, because why on earth would you move to a party that actually cannot even form a government at UK level?
Tom Harris in Glasgow, grateful to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.